Are you race baiting?
I think that's a really lazy way of categorising asking questions about our constitutional arrangements.
Rawiri Waititi says that you've been constantly bashing Māori, using racist rhetoric, racist propaganda, inciting racism in the populace to win votes from Pākehā. What's your response?
I think that's a very lazy categorisation.
Thank you. The Māori Party, though, they say they're upset by your questions, and they say that you're upsetting Māori around the country as well with your questions. What's your response to that?
Well, the Prime Minister needs to answer my questions.
Do you see how uncomfortable this might make Māori feel, hearing themselves being talked about in Parliament in such a way that could be quite detrimental to the way that they feel and think about themselves?
Well, I'd like all Māori to know that this is not talking about Māori. This is talking about constitutional arrangements.
Isn't this essentially what is in the treaty which every New Zealander should know?
I don't know that all New Zealanders would view what the Prime Minister is now talking about as the treaty. They would see, I think, that this is a radical interpretation.
What's the radical interpretation? The Māori Health Authority, is that what you're referring to?
No, I suggest you think about all the other issues I've been raising.
Constitutional
There
matters?
are constitutional arrangements that are clearly in play at the moment, and the Prime Minister needs to be upfront.
Because you've brought them up, aren't they?
Because the Prime Minister is already undertaking a stream of work, or her government is, that clearly is bringing about significant changes to ownership, to governance, and we're now looking at what looks like a joint sovereignty. That is not something that I think most New Zealanders even realise.
Isn't that the partnership under Te Tiriti?
Well, these are questions I'm asking the Prime Minister. What does she mean by it?
Didn't we have that? Didn't we have that?
You should frame your questions in a different way, because the way you're framing them, the Māori Party clearly thinks is divisive.
No, I think the way I'm framing the questions are within standing orders.
Whether they're technically okay according to standing orders, do you think that you could do them in a way that the other party feels is less divisive?
Parliament is a place of free speech within the rules. I will continue to ask the questions until the Prime Minister answers the questions directly.
Do you think the government is conspiring to keep this, to keep something from New Zealanders?
Well, it's pretty clear that the government doesn't want to have a full and frank discussion.
Who do you mean when you say New Zealanders want to have a conversation? Because what the Māori Party is saying is that they don't feel part of that conversation.
Very happy for the Māori Party to be part of that conversation.
The Māori Party walking out, do you consider that to be a stunt?
I think it's entirely up to them to answer that question.